Thank you very much for that, Tom. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Racehub World GT Championship. Alex Simpson, I'm on my own at the moment, which is kind of why I'm not getting the cues until you mentioned. But yeah, looking forward to this one. It's going to be a great championship. Obviously, your grid has just kind of scrolled on across the field across your screen. So you will have had that. Nicole Foggy took pole some half a second quicker than the rest of the field out there. Absolutely fantastic performance from him. So awesome job. Give me a little shout on the chat, please, if you can hear me now. Hopefully you can. Hopefully there's no problems. It's looking good, that's for sure. But yeah, so we return again for the Racehub World GT, sponsored by Simmortal as well. And we're at we're not Road America, we're at Circuit of the Americas. Sam Fitzpatrick will be along with me for race number 2. There is an important football game on, so yeah, we're a little bit thin on the ground at the moment, so apologies for that. But a fantastic circuit, do love this place. It's going to make for some good racing. We saw a great race last night in the British Grand Tour event as well, and I mentioned actually Richard Kofenko, who's showing up as an AM driver. He was extremely strong in that race as well. Great race pace. I'm not surprised to see him in 3rd place on the grid here. He's got a lot of practice in with last night, so that's going to bode well for him. So we'll see how he goes. But Foggy looking extremely strong out there, and with that qualifying time, just very, very impressive. All going to be about the start, of course. We have quite a few cars out there. I can't scroll down far enough to tell you how many we actually have, but yeah, it's a lot. Here we go then. Round number 1 of the series is away. Foggy gets a good start. A little bit, oh, that's close going into one. They're 3 wide there. Johnny Brandon involved in that. Mattia Falucci as well. Johnny, sorry, you can get Marco to get me to pronounce it right. He'll know. And everyone going single file. Yeah, sorry, Chaz. No trailer at the start of this one. You can imagine everybody scrambling. I was trying to watch the game as well, so apologies. And yeah, just a bit of a rush just to get everything up and running and going. Oh, they're 3-4 wide, a bit further back as well. I'm hearing some contact too. I think that's all the way back down. I think it's Kieran who's around. The track is a little bit blocked, but we won't see a safety car. A few people checking up in the first chicane as well. Not a lot of room out there on the first lap with so many cars on the circuit. So yeah, unfortunately, 46 cars it looks like we have, and you can see just on the mini map what an absolute great little mix the classes it is out there as well. But Foggy away. Thompson has gone with him somewhat. Thompson in the BMW, of course. We've seen him in the Radical car so often be very, very strong in that BMW. He knows it very well, and I have no doubts that he will put Foggy under some serious pressure throughout this race. I hope Richard can get back up to speed like he did last night, and is going to go with these guys. But Ash Sutton has made his way up. He's already up 2 spots into 4th place from this one. So that was that 3 wide battle that we saw early on. Mattia got himself past Johnny Brandon in the end. Stuart McFadden in the CQR S-Line car. He's doing a great job. And lap 1 is in the books, and unfortunately I think we have a couple of victims. Ben Hackerson dropping down the order. I think he has jumped back to the pits. So issue for Ben Hackerson. He was in the, well, you can see him in the pits there. He's the only driver in the McLaren as far as I can see. There's quite a big gap formed. Just sort of in the mid-pack, which quite surprised me at this early stage. I thought there'd be, I don't know if that was where the accident was just a little bit earlier on, but yeah, where to look at the moment. It's absolutely manic. Everybody trying to get by everyone. Yeah, give me just 2 seconds, Hill. I will post you the live timing link that is on the Facebook group, but I will post that in the chat for you as well. So excuse me while I just get that, gents. Here we go. Like I say, Sam Fitzpatrick will be with me for the second race of the night. And yeah, it'll be a lot more, there'll be some decent coverage and I won't be trying to do everything, yeah. But yeah, Nicole Foggy still out in the front then. Thompson, he's there, he's not lost any ground at all in this lap as well. They've had a good mix of fastest sector times this time by as well. So fully expect to see them go at it. Kafenku can't quite keep up. He's just losing a little bit of time. I'm looking at the sector times. He's just sort of like a half a tenth off here, there and everywhere in all of the sectors last time. But Ash Sutton looking very, very strong as well. He has got his hands full behind though. New entry in Driving Revolution Sim Racing tucks up behind him in the Mercedes right now. Wanting to have a little look. Dear the Italian driver. Got a great run. Sutton's having to go just a little bit defensive. And maybe a move around the outside. Can't get anything happen that time. So the Driving Revolution team just stays behind and coming under a little bit of pressure from Johnny Brandon. Johnny in 6th place, just poking his nose up the inside. And yeah, welcome to the league. That is what you're going to get. One minute attack, next second defense. Because it's the action is thick and fast and always on your doorstep here in the World GT Championship. Major movers at the moment. We're looking at Luke Clark. He is up 7 spots, also in the XVR car. I do love the livery, nice and yeah, nice and straightforward, and plastered with Apex logos as well. So I'll take a little bit of that. Biggest loss so far as I can see from the apart from the drivers that are retired. Dion Phillips down 16 spots in his Audi, so not quite sure what's gone on with the Excite Racing Audi out there, but yeah, some problems, and he finds himself in a battle for 20th place right now. Of course, if you're not familiar with this series, 3 races tonight. We have got sort of 3 sprint races, so it's not your traditional GT endurance style racing where you're going to see people be very, very patient. None of this sort of Blancpain or VRS World Championship like on iRacing where they just sit tight for a good, you know, hour and a half. These guys are going to go for the moves when they get just the smallest sniff because they have such a short amount of time to do it. Thompson running just a little bit wide on the penultimate corner. Lots of people will do that through the course of tonight. But you do gain small advantage doing that, so we'll keep an eye on that. So far, Thompson has 8 reported off tracks as well, compared to Foggy's 2. So Nicole looking very, very strong, very confident out there as well, not having to use all of the track limits to sort of maintain this pack. Ash Sutton has had a little spin. What's gone on with Sutton? Oh, and everyone's checking up behind. Jump back to replay too soon, Alex. Oh, shenanigans have gone on behind. I'll stick with this replay and we'll see. Was there a late move? Did he get turned? Oh, he did just get a little nerf from behind, and then Brandon just finished him off completely and utterly. But yeah, so Sutton rejoining the circuit. Oh, it was actually a separate incident. And, oh yeah, disaster. And there's been another problem with Mattia. I think we're going to see him get turned, and there he is, just getting a little nudge and into the tyre wall. It was the tiniest of touches, but it was enough to upset the balance of that Mercedes, and around it goes. So 2 of our front 5 having major incidents in this race so far. We're only on lap 4, 7.5 minutes into it, and wow, yeah, it's all changed. Michael Evdoka didn't have, I would say, the strongest pace last night in the GT Championship in the Grand Tour BSR. but seems to have got it together just a little bit today. He's in 7th place. He's battling with Stuart McFadden out there right now. McFadden just on the inside in the S-Line car. Stuart looked pretty strong last night, I have to say. Good strong pace, was able to make moves. You could see the difference in the Ferrari and the Mercedes performance. That Ferrari gets up to speed at the end of the back straight quite nicely, but the Merc definitely has the grunt coming out of the corner. All 3 drivers. Just, yep, why not? Have it. Let's go on board with Michael, see if he can get a run on McFadden going into turn 1. It's not really closed up at all, even though he's got the draft. Under braking, oh, he looks strong. Stuart perhaps a tiny bit early on the brakes, different lines in there, and actually McFadden gets away nicely from the corner, so got to be careful. Don't want to brake too early, can very easily get rear-ended, and we've seen it's not necessarily the driver behind. Oh, massive understeer through the S's, just huge amounts of push, the car just sliding, and Fadden just drives away. Not at all what Evdoka wanted there. And he's now under pressure from Jake Blackall in the CQR Club BMW. I have to say, I think we've got a pretty good turnout of cars out there. Fair few BMs, decent amount of Mercs, few Ferraris, few Audis, and like I say, there is a McLaren out there as well. So it's not your typical mistake. There has been a change for second place. Richard Gafencu has gone up, so I'm going to find out exactly where that was. See if we can't get a little replay on that of that back view. Guessing it was a mistake, was it, from Thompson? I'm hearing some sort of slide. There's Thompson. Yeah, so problems for Josh. Oh, major drift coming out of that penultimate corner. Held on to it. That was the important thing. Those tyres will be goosed, that's for sure. But yeah, that's how Josh lost second place. He's right back on the tail here, though, of Richard. Yeah, Gavin Wakefield with wheel problems, unfortunately not able to take part in this one. Hopefully you'll be back there for the next one. But yeah, Thompson back through into the first corner. Good move. Great. I have to say, even though Richard got overtaken there, it's a great drive from Richard. Really showing good, strong pace, and carried over nicely. And while Smith also showed good pace last night in the BSR series, and now on the tail of Johnny Brandon here, 0.3 of a second. They've got a little bit of a buffer to Stuart McFadden behind. Do have new driver that I haven't seen, Simon Underhill, in the Nomad Sim Racing car, and he's tucked right up behind Michael Hall, who we have seen plenty of times. And well, he's not tucked up behind anymore as he dives up the inside into the hairpin. Hall gets the cut back. It is going to be a drag race down the back straight, and well, right now we're going to see whether or not that BMW has got some speed or not. And I tell you what, it actually looks like it does, as the Audi has to duck back into the slipstream to try and get back to the outside. Doesn't get the move done, and yeah, good awareness from Hall to hold on to that when he's able to get the cut back and get the run out of the corner. Still has to go a little bit defensive, covering off the line. Just to watch the inside here. Oh no! And well, that was a mistake from Underhill. He just got himself out of shape. Fortunately, it did get Hall out of shape a little bit, but it didn't actually lose any places. There's just a 3.5 second gap now to Pete Harrod just ahead of them. So Hall is going to have his hands full for the rest. There's a little bit of wing damage on the back of that. That will affect straight line speed. Who is that coming through? I think that's Sutton, and he has just taken 2 drivers with him. don't quite know. Let's, oh, we need a better angle than that. Let's get to the chopper, see exactly what happened. Just come diving in there, and yeah, it was... I'm not sure Ash knew that that Simon was going for a move on Paul, but yeah, that's what made that overtake there just impossible, and always resulted in Paul Smith's death, unfortunately. So yeah, that's a shame for Paul. He's still out there, mind you, in the Smile Time racing car. So it wasn't too major. He's still up 3 places as well. Matt Bunn, just a bit further back in the CQR Racehub Ferrari, he's still doing well, up 11 spots. Luke Clark up 14 spots in the XVR green car. And looks like we might just have lost YouTube. Yeah, it looks like we're having some issues with YouTube. So try, if you can get this back after refreshing, try our Facebook page. I'll get you the link to our page and post it in there. So hopefully you can carry on following the action. Right, back to the front then. Nicole Foggy, he is now 5.2 seconds clear at the front of this one. Looking very, very strong indeed. Thompson, of course, did get back up to second place. Still got the Youth Energy car of Gafenku behind. Oh, I think we might well have lost Paul Smith. He is in the box right now, actually. So some problems for him, some damage. Simon Underhill with some problems as well. Very, very slow. I'm not sure what's gone on with Simon. Let's see if we can see what happened to Simon, but that damage was a lot worse. He's got one of the XVR cars, and that's the second lap in a row. He's just taken a bit of a wallop, and he's come back on the circuit, and there's cars there, and oh, I think he's took Matt Bunn out with him as well. It's not a good rejoin. Yes, he got hit out, but the rejoin, there was cars there. You can't just come back on. Sorry, Simon. Wow, that was yeah, that's separated it out just a little bit in that mid pack, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely a few people having some issues on the YouTube stream. So if it keep needing to refresh, do head on over to the Facebook page. We are streaming it live there as well. And while you're over there, don't forget to give us a like on the video, and maybe even you know, a follow on the page. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Just having a look here. This is the battle for 18th place. It wasn't Bunn that was collected in that. Bunn missed it, but it definitely was one of his teammates. I'm not sure who it was, but yeah, unfortunately for them. But yeah, big job for Mattia to get himself back up after that mistake. Oh, it wasn't a mistake, was it? He got nudged from behind, but a decent enough run to get back into 18th at least, because he was way down the order. Starting to look a little bit tasty in the battle for 6th place as well. Stuart McFadden currently sits at the front of that one. He has got Jake Blackall just behind him. And then we have got Michael Evdoka, who is showing a very strong performance. I'm not entirely sure what track is next, I'm afraid. Obviously the next race tonight, all three races tonight are at Circuit of the Americas. So, and then they move on to another circuit next week. So, oh, Doka gets a little tap from behind from the Savage with boosted car of Steve Baxter. Apologies, we just have a live timing glitch, which is going to make spotting the final lap very, very interesting, as the timing screen has just reset itself. Oh, Matt Bunn and Evans going at it as well. This is for 21st place. I mean, it doesn't matter where you look on the circuit. You can just see on the map, there's just battles absolutely everywhere. It's just relentless, no matter where you look. The leaders really are the only ones that have got a little bit of breathing room. Everybody else in the Mick pack has just got different battles that they're having to deal with. Good little move though, Bunn up the inside and the outside. It's Freitas. Oh, sorry, it was Evans. It's Freitas behind. Oh, late move, but confident one as well. Still manages to absolutely nail the apex for Bunn in the Ferrari. But Evans holds on. They're closing in on Draycott just ahead of them. Still this battle as well for 6th place continue, although McFadden's starting to break away ever so slightly now. Jake needing the slipstream of that Ferrari ahead, and Doka having a little look, pokes his nose out. Oh my word, look at how good that BMW is on the brakes as well. Just McFadden just probably got a little bit worried there, but yeah, didn't need to. Just about had enough room, but I was extremely good on the brakes from Blackall. Some movement going on a bit further back. I think that is Richard Warmingham having a battle with the Driving Revolution Sim Racing car there as well, side by side, and goes through. So up to 14th place for Nicola. And he's made up 7 spaces in this race as well. Right, checkered flag is out. Right, I'm really sorry, guys. Like I said, it was going to be almost impossible for me to spot that with the live timing glitch. I don't get the white flag indicator until it's all a little bit too late. But Foggy coming through. Jake Blackall. Let's have a look at the rest of these battles. Everyone streaming across the line. Very, very close. Just looking to see if there's some side-by-side. Oh, who is that slow? That's Kieran Roach, I think. Yeah, Kieran's slow. I don't know if he's out of fuel. Or maybe it's, no, maybe a slowdown penalty for Kieran. They're still coming streaming across the line now. This is all the way down in 30th place. Final few stragglers. Well, I'm sorry, Nicole, I didn't give you enough of a big up, but yeah, Nicole Foggy, after weathering a little bit of storm from Josh Thompson at the first part of this race, didn't really put a foot wrong at all, still showing us only 2 off tracks, and I doubt that was actually an off track as well, because iRacing ones are slightly different to what we see on our control panel here. And yeah, faultless drive really, pulled away from the field, no mistakes, wins the first round of the series in a very, very dominant sort of fashion, very quick in quali. I do think that Josh can give him a little run for his money. I also feel if we'd have had Sutton Co, people like that, not get tangled, and I think, was it Matteo who had to work his way through again after the accident. I think he had some strong pace too, so Genuinely think we're going to see some interesting battles in this one for sure. Right, let me get you your final classifications, and then I will need to get a wheel up on screen for you guys. Again, for those that don't know, just while I'm getting the final results, we have a reverse grid wheel, and what happens is I'll give it a spin, and that's where the grid basically is drawn from for the next race, and we do that again on after the next one, and that will be the final race reverse grid. So Nicole Foggy takes the win. He's 5.4 seconds clear in the end. Venku is not able to get back past Josh Thompson, who got second. Richard was in third, Johnny Brandon, followed by Anwar Smith. Jake Blackall in the CQR Club. Then we have our first privateer in Michael Evdoka. Steve Baxter moved up some decent amount of places in the 888 car to get himself in 8th, Pete Harrod. Then it was Stuart McFadden. Ash Sutton recovered back to 11th place. Michael Hall. Ben Gregory in the Driving Revolution sim racing there. Apologies, we can't fit your team name right in there. And I'm missing some drivers. No, I'm not. Thought I was for a moment. Jack Stiles 16th, and we got Mathieu in 17th, Bart Daleman in 18th, and the rest of the final standings are up on the screen right now. Right, let me just take, if we can get this right, just look at your pro winners as well while I'm getting the wheel ready, if that's okay. Sam Fitzpatrick will be joining me, like I said, for race number 2. And yeah, like I say, I think most people are taking a little look at a certain football game right now. I have to say, I did watch the first half, but gutted I can't. Please, no spoilers. Maybe I don't want to watch it. I don't know. Oh, you don't want that one. Sorry about this, gentlemen. We're a bit rushed today. Here we go. Right then, for the first time tonight, let's give this wheel a little spin and see where we go. Ooh, I thought it was going to be a small one, but it's not. Fairly sizable. 36 will be the reverse grid. Who is that going to be? I will find out in just a second. 36 is Matthew Keeber in this Simmortal Go-Kart World car. He is going to get himself on pole position. Second place is going to be Adam Hedgecock. Then it's Paul Smith. So even though he had his little issue, he should still have a chance for a reasonable one. Then it's Mark Woodhouse, Stephen Dawson, Tom Jacobs, and Simon Underhill for the reverse grid order in the next race. Just so you know, we'll go away. We'll have about a... no, you didn't. Sorry, David. Not on that machine anyway. That's my other one. You will... yeah, we'll be about 15 minutes. And then we will have another session put back up. And then we'll get back going again on that one. In the meantime, we'll treat you to some adverts. So, yep. Have fun. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll be back. Stick around in about 10-15 minutes time.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerick at the line.
Welcome back to the Racehub World GT Championship here at Circuit of the Americas. Alex Simpson for Apex Racing TV, and I am joined with my partner in crime, Sam Fitzpatrick. Welcome, sir. Thank you for jumping in for this one. I don't know what you caught of the first race. I see you were sort of paying a little half attention and a little half eye on another sporting event at the moment.
Yes, just a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure many of the drivers who unfortunately couldn't make this round will be very pleased with the results. I've probably just spoiled it for some people, haven't I? So sorry, guys. But or was it? Yeah, I won't say anything. But yeah, I caught a little bit of this race, and yeah, few incidences and pretty dominant victory though, wasn't it? And there seemed to be a little bit of a divide between kind of the top guys and the midfield, but some great trains forming, and I think it's that 36 car reverse that you were saying earlier, Alex. That's going to be pretty mega. I think I've really been a big fan of this series, so it's fantastic to finally commentate on it, because it's yeah, one of the best GT3 leagues out there, and lots of fun, and it should be a lot of fun to commentate on.
Yeah, indeed, will be. Overcast conditions for this one, 22 degrees. And of course, yeah, all the Tunisian racers that we have will be delighted.
Yes.
Or not. Yeah, you couldn't give it away anymore if you tried, could you? But I have to say, I am shocked with how many sort of, you know, Brits there were racing in this. Now, of course, they could all be Irish, Scottish, and Welsh running the Union Jack, but yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, good to see a lot of drivers up there. I think, yeah, I don't know who it was the other day who told us that there wasn't going to be anyone for this one, but there are plenty of drivers. I know a few drivers in this series, and they are English. However, they're not football fans. So those two, if it's a Venn diagram, there's not much of a middle ground, I'd say, in those two categories. But Yeah, great to see so many drivers up then. I don't know, Alex. Can the drivers kind of join for this race now that it's ended and join for race 3? We could see even higher participation, perhaps.
Well, I think we might do, yeah, and I think they can as long as they're all signed up and whatnot and registered. Shouldn't be a problem. So yes, they can. They'll have to start obviously at the back of the grid, and I think they will need to let the admins know because the way the grids work, they sort of roll them, and everyone gets put in their place for the relevant grid. So they just need to let them know, and they sort of have to. The admins have to manually add them. Right, we are making our way to the grid. I do now have the official grids available. Would you be able to do the honours, please, Sam?
Yes, of course, and it's Matt Keeber on pole position alongside him. Adam Hedgecock, Paul Smith in second place with Mark Woodhouse 4th, and Stephen Dawson 5th, Tom Jacobs 6th, and Simon Underhill, Kieran Roch, David White, Lee Woodburn, Andy Shield, Simon Field, Ben Haggeston, Ronald Moons, Matt Bunn, Miguel Freitas in 16th, Craig Evans, Chaz Draycott will be keeping an eye on him, our co-commentator. But Daleman, Mattia Fulnini, not quite sure. But yeah, because he had a bit of a crash in race 1 that I saw, he'll be looking to get up through the grid in 20th. Then it's Jack Stiles, Richard Warmingham, Nicolo Cuomo, Ben Gregory, Michael Hall, Ash Sutton, Stuart McFadden, Pete Harrod, Stephen Baxter, Michael Evdotka. And then it's in 3rd position, and then it's Jake Blackhall, Anwar Smith, Johnny Brandon, Richard Kubenke, Josh Thompson, Nicole Foggy, race 1 winner, Adam Gorton Grant, John Roberts, Josh Rayfield, Steve Burke, David Baker, Robert Lundgren, Luke Clark, Dion Phillips, Michael Blake, Lee Deemer, Gavin Wakefield, and Carl Hardy rounding out this 48-car field.
So yeah, Matt Keeber on the pole then for the Simmortal Go-Kart World Car. I'm looking forward to receiving my Simmortal model that they've done, actually. Yeah, saw a couple of pictures of it last night. Waiting for the case to arrive for it, but yeah, nice that I give them a little bit of a challenge with asking them to do the McLaren MP430. But yeah, I have seen some, like I said, I've seen some pictures, really good. So do go check the sponsors out. If you fancy one of your sim cars being painted in a little model car, then yeah, reach out to the guys. They do a great job. Right, pace car ducks on into the pit lane then. So Matt Keeber takes over control. He hasn't gone straight out of the. He's gonna wait. Oh, still there he goes. No, he sort of checked back up and then went again. So look at that, it's caused a little bit of mayhem in the pack. I don't know who that is in the Mercedes, in the yellow BMW, one of the CQR cars, but he's literally overtaken about 15 people. So I think it was Ash Sutton, he's up 10 places already. Now, I'm not quite sure what the rulings are on that. It depends where he's overtaken them. We'll have to keep an eye. He might have got away with it. And that's kind of what happens when your front man just doesn't go at the start there. He just literally held everybody. And, you know, he's well within his right to do that. But good start. I haven't seen... there has been a little issue for the Driving Revolution Sim Racing, both of them. And there's another one as well. Robert Lundgren involved around. That's taken a few more cars. There's a few other spinners. It is manic here at COTA, and it usually is in these reverse grid races. Oh, who was that? Ben Hackerson, just straight into one of the CQR cars. That was Stuart McFadden.
Yeah, it seemed pretty clean through that turn 1, which is a bit surprising because it's such a notoriously difficult corner. Is side by side, Adam Hedgecock just losing out. Who was that? Just samuraiing coming through. Kieran Roche, who had such an awesome start, but he's just fallen down the field. I'm so steady, and there's a car stopped, and that could be a pile-up.
Oh, well, actually cleared out the way pretty quickly, but yeah, how quickly has this changed from what we saw in the last race, where it was all pretty civilized, no issues whatsoever. There's a few accidents, and yeah, like I say, that is the nature of the reverse grid races. If you came here expecting to see a reverse a 36 car reverse grid race and it being much like the first race, well, you had another thing coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will be interesting to see the fast drivers making their way through up the field, and they've already got a pretty good start. But out in the lead, Mark Woodhouse now got the lead. So Matt Keeber somehow lost that one because he was about 1.5 seconds ahead, and round the outside goes the BMW, and that's an awesome move. Easy peasy as he does it, and it's a 1-2 for those two drivers, Mark Woodhouse and Paul Smith. Paul Smith, brilliant move there, and this top kind of 5 have just pulled away almost side by side going through the S's. Awesome first lap.
Yeah, Woodhouse just gets a whole bunch of the yellow curb there as well. Fortunately, it doesn't upset the car. Different lines for the teammates there as well. Smith just struggling with a little bit of understeer, but manages to get the line hooked back up for the final couple of corners of the S's, and that's the important one. Simon Underhill, who did have a couple of little issues in the last race. He has to go defensive from Matt Keeber. Felt the need, and yeah, Keeber having a little look, but not going to have anything. Tom Jacobs just behind in the thrust vector car. So the Audi, got a few Audis at the front. That's where they all were in the last race, in and around the 30s apparently.
Well, he's having a good run of it at the moment. It's Tom Jacobs, and may have just looked to the inside there. We've got side by side here between Field and Roche. Roche just trying to come back, and that was Jacobs not quite being able to pull off the move, a little bit off the track just ahead. And all these drivers are slowing each other down. Mark Woodhouse making a sprint for it. Don't want to accuse any team games, but this is a nice work from Paul Smith, because Mark Woodhouse is pulling out a nice little lead right now because of his teammate.
Yeah, no team games whatsoever there. That is just Smith having to defend for his life, I feel. You know, he got that great move done on yeah, it was actually Keeber, wasn't it, around the outside into turn 1. Underhill's got through as well this lap, and now trying to put Smith under pressure. Smith took a lot of the curb on the inside there. You have to be careful. You can get a slowdown penalty. Those that are tuned in and haven't watched iRacing before, it will punish you if you cut a corner across the inside and gain an advantage, physically slowing you back down again. So you don't want to see too many drivers doing that. And yeah, it is quite nasty. Oh, jeez, Paul nearly nails his teammate, but he had to break the lead there. Underhill, absolutely phenomenal on the brakes, round the outside. Who's going to get this through the S's?
Oh, he's just backed out, and he might lose another position here, Underhill, but just about hung on. That was an awesome run from Underhill. Very nearly came out of nowhere to claim back that P2. And now he's got to look behind that Keeber once again. And now just behind these guys is Simon Field, who's quickly caught up to this lot. But behind that, maybe Josh Thompson up 25 positions into P10. He will be chasing down these guys hard.
Yes, indeed, he will. What did Ash Sutton get a drive-through? He's in the pits, so I don't know what happened to Sutton, but yeah, it's not gone according to plan. I wonder if he got some sort of penalty or something, parked it up, I don't know. Did seem to get going very, very quickly, did he, in his CQR BMW? Underhill with the run then, having another little look on Smith. Can't get it done.
Oh, wow, that was deep. That was, yeah, very late on the brakes. Oh, wow, look at this.
Let's see if we can't get that back on replay for us. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a tad deep, wasn't it?
Everyone, I think, realised, oh dear, we're all going to crash into each other, and did their absolute best to avoid it, and that, to give credit to them, they did an awesome job in the end. Ben Gregory up 17 places, by the way, up into P7 and holding off Josh Thompson, and here was a move, not even sure who's in the Mercedes there, but going around the outside and making up a couple of positions.
I think it was.
Yeah, Smith.
Back to back to live. We're gonna have to get back at some point. We could have just stayed on that replay forever, I feel. Tom Jacobs, was he up the inside of Keeber?
Nice one.
And I think Thompson is just done a move as well. That was on Ben Gregory, so he goes through. Two BMWs exchanging position out there. Kieran Roch in the Simmortal Drive Doctor. He's about to lose a space there as well. He does. That was Pete Harrod going through. Pete Harrod up 16 hour winner from the last race as well. Nicole Foggy up 25 spots to 11th at the moment. Let's just quickly jump on board for the rest of this lap with Foggy, see if he can negotiate some more of this traffic. He's got Miguel Freitas just ahead of him. Then it's Anwar Smith, we saw, who was very quick last night in the Youth Energy car, up the inside into the first of the hairpins. Good on the brakes for Nicole, just clips the curb. He's still got that Audi to the outside. It's going to be a drag race. The Audi's got the slipstream of Smith's Mercedes ahead, and Foggy has to settle back in.
Well, earlier I saw the Audi losing up to a BMW down the straight, so here comes Foggy. He's not making this one easy. So to the inside goes Freitas. Foggy, he can go around the outside. He should have the inside for the next one. How much track extending will you go? Very fair indeed from Foggy, and he will make that move. Should be quite simple down here. Should just push his opponent out wide. And yeah, he's got that one down. And if anything, Freitas goal. Watch out now for Pete Howard going around the outside. And I think Howard's going to have that one actually going into the Turkey Turn 8 corner. And look, this is incredible from Foggy. He's already on the back of Anwar Smith, a very respected quick driver. And yeah, absolutely flying up there. Could still get a top 5, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I see that. We officially renamed that corner Turkey Turn 8 as well, by the way, last night, if people are wondering. It's no longer like, you know, the Turkey-like corner Turn 8. It is now just called Turkey Turn 8.
Yeah, even though we kind of mocked it, that it's nothing like Turn 8 at Turkey, but...
We'll call it that.
That's what the designers had
then.
in mind.
Good move from Foggy. Yeah, that's 8th place. Someone jumped into the pits as well that lap. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was Tom Jacobson in Thrust Vector. He's dropping down the order. So, yeah, problems for Tom. Right, to the front then. It's still very, very close between the top 3. Just not to lose attention to the rest of the field, which is also very, very close. You can just see the snake meandering on the screen as it goes through the S's as well. Nothing between them.
Surely these guys now, with that, they know that Josh Thompson's coming for them, they know that Ben Gregory's coming for them, they know that Nicole Foggy's coming for them. They've got to start working together a little bit, because, you know, if they've been working together for this whole race, then they would be a little bit further up the road. But then, you know, they've got to race against one another, and if they come, arguably. But you know, I think certainly the two, Mark Woodhouse and Paul Smith, they've certainly got to work together. Don't fight each other at all, because otherwise they might end up off the podium.
Yeah, indeed. Woodhouse just missing the apex there as well. I think this is the problem that Smith's having. He's trying not to pressure his teammate too much, but he's still having to take sort of fairly defensive lines for Underhill, and of course that's allowing Underhill to get a little run here and there. But it also seems like Woodhouse is just kind of catching a glimpse of it in his mirror and like, oh, do I need to cover this? What's going on? You know, and you're right. It's just stopping him from getting completely sort of relaxed and going for it. And once again, Smith having to defend. Oh, Thompson arrives on the scene and goes into instant attack mode as well.
Oh, Thompson's going to go for the two of them here. So you can see this one opening up. Will he go to the inside? He's going to go to the outside. You can see the cutback maybe coming down the inside, goes Underhill. No contact between the two of them. Where's Thompson? He should get one of them maybe onto the inside at turn 2. It's so close between the two of them. And in the end, I think he just has to slot in behind. And this is allowing Foggy to catch up to these lot.
That was good from Smith. He could have easily lost a couple of places there. Held on to it. Just needs to try and stay in the slipstream here of Underhill. That'll help him defend. Thompson putting him under extreme amounts of pressure already. Simon Field is with them as well. Nicole Foggy has got past Ben Gregory, and you can see him coming in the background. Mercedes very quick. We're going to go 3 wide, I feel, into the hairpin before the back straight. Smith trying to get a little bit of a cutback. And Thompson, he's got a run, but I'm not sure it's going to be good enough. Field, I feel, might almost have the best run here, but Thompson trying to duck out of the slipstream. Smith going to the absolute inside. He's over the white line, but he doesn't care. Underhill has to sort of give him a little bit of track room round the outside. Then Josh Thompson, is he going to get Smith as well? He's close, but he's going to try and finish it off. And he does. Good little move. Although, yeah, there's some track limits there somewhere. That's fine. They took lessons from Max Verstappen.
Again, you don't like the Dutch fans, do you, Alex? You're telling them to go away. But yeah, it was an awesome move from.
Come at me, come at me.
It was an awesome move from Josh Thompson. And yeah, that second move on Paul Smith wasn't easy. Smith very respectful, to be fair, to give him so much room. And again, a little bit off the circuit. And down the inside goes Nicole Foggy. He can see maybe a win if something happens to Thompson, but I think he's going to need something to happen to Thompson if he's going to have any chance, because they were pretty evenly matched in race 1. But now it's a case of how quickly can Thompson get past Woodhouse for his 34th position gained.
That's ridiculous as well, so fantastic run. Maybe it was Josh who was dodging through the traffic off of the grid, because yeah, it was certainly a CQR car, that was for sure. So, but yeah, right onto the tail. It's not very often. Oh, Paul Smith took a whole chunk of the sausage curve there. He's desperately trying to get the car back in line, but oh, that cost him a good half a second there, and a mistake.
Oh, it's Thompson's state. No, it's not.
Oh, I think he is.
Oh,
Around
nice
the outside,
defense.
and then what was the inside? So that was good. I think it was Woodhouse. He just got the line a little bit wrong. Then he opened the door for him. As Foggy has a little look on Underhill now. You're right, he needs to get through. 6.5 minutes to go. He's got 3 BMWs ahead of him, and he's go time. That Audi of Underhill has got a heck of a run here as well.
Foggy should be braver on the brakes. I imagine Underhill, it's probably not in his best interest to fight this one, but he is.
He does.
And he's down the inside. And I don't know where Foggy is. He could be 10 acres off the circuit right now. He might have the inside. And, yeah, he's lost out there. So that's not good whatsoever for Nicole Foggy. Still the P2 looking positive, but Josh Thompson in the Radicals Online car pulling away in the lead.
Yeah, this isn't over by any means. And Underhill already, he wasn't even looking behind. We were focused on what Foggy was doing, but instantly he's already looking forward at Smith. Desperately wants to get past the Smile Time Racing BMW ahead of him. Oh, once again Foggy up the inside, and actually Underhill has to just sort of move out of line a little bit there, and that's compromised him somewhat. Simon Field now with the run on the Audi.
Yeah, Simon's had the best seats in the house. He's just been watching this entire battle just behind it, and now he's finally profiting from it. He might have the inside here, but he's going to lead up to the Audi's grunt through turn 2. And still staying ahead is Underhill. Just behind these guys is Gregory and then Anwar Smithy. Those two have been quick in this race, and they'll be looking to make up those positions very soon.
I think Foggy's still in range if he can get these guys like this lap. Maybe still got an opportunity. Oh, I got a good run there as well. Switch up the focus for a second, because he's going to perhaps try and go around the outside of Smith here. Underhill maybe will take advantage of this. That's the thing with this corner, it's so wide. Oh, a mistake from Woodhouse. Compromises his teammate. And Foggy has to go off the circuit as well. But I feel like Smith is a bit of a sitting duck this time. And actually, look who's got the best run. In the end, it was Underhill.
Yeah,
and back through, back past Foggy. So it just goes to show that AstroTurf. Oh, they all concertina up into the hairpin.
Oh, that's so deep. And just about makes it through, does Underhill. That was a nice movement. He could get another one here. He could be up into P2. Around the outside goes Simon Underhill. What a few corners for him. That is
how you do it.
Amazing.
Fantastic move. Great couple of moves. Took full advantage, didn't he, down the back straight. Oh, they're side by side, just sort of blocking the track up here. Who's on the inside? Is that Smith on the inside? I think it was, and it was Woodhouse behind. So yeah, Mark slipping back all of a sudden. Not sure he's going to win this drag race against Foggy.
2 by 2, heading down into turn 1, and it could become maybe 3 wide coming down here. And finally, it seems as though Foggy's got that one done. It's all chaos behind though. Will it be side by side going into the yeses? Gregory almost touching. That's Field and Smith, is it? And they're side by side. Can Smith get through? He's not giving up, and Smith is going to lose it.
Oh.
And he's made contact, and they're both lost out. And more issues for
it could have been worse.
Field as well.
Worse. Foggy right now on the tail of Paul Smith. I think he's got him here. Well, not necessarily. He's got to go around the outside. But yeah, the best Nicole is going to do is second place in this one, that's for sure, because Thompson has checked out while these guys have been battling. Look, there he is, down there, that little dot.
Yeah, a long way into the distance, but here comes Foggy once again. Down the inside of Paul Smith. Well, I think he's going to fight this one. He's been fighting every other battle out there, and we've shown that Nicole Foggy can be overtaken. And down the inside, he's lost it.
That was, yeah, that was not right. Where did he go? Different racetrack out there somewhere. Oh, yeah, he's going to have to settle in behind his teammate as well. So Johnny Brandon takes up the reins. What is going on a little bit further back? We haven't got long, we've got a minute or so to go. There's another great little pack here. Michael Evdoka, Steve Burke is involved in this. This is 18th place. And then we've got the Drive-In Revolution Sim Racing, Nicola in 20th, and it's Adam Broughton Grant just behind them. And the final car in that little pack is Jake Blackall, CQR Club car. Fast lap of the race for Thompson, goes purple with a 201.9. Yeah, Foggy Manager 202.2, but nobody else in the 202s at all.
Yeah, super impressive. He fully deserves this race victory, I think. Can Evdoka hang on to this one? But yeah.
Sorry, it's really, too much going on the front. It's like every time we want to look at a battle further back, these guys just suddenly get closer.
Gregory's just picked these guys off, and just ahead of Johnny Brandon still. He's up 28 positions himself, Foggy up 30, although he'll be thinking that maybe a race victory was possible, but I don't think he can build too sorry for himself. And down the inside goes Johnny Brandon on Ben Gregory, but I think we might have 3 wide going down into turn 10 once again. Gregory got the much better run, but in the slipstream is Nicole Foggy. I'm surprised that car hasn't got a few more dents in it, because he's really been in the walls in the past few laps, and he goes to the outside. Is there any chance for Brandon to get back? Round the outside he goes. Foggy's trying to get involved any which way he can, and he just turns in on him, does Brandon. Can Gregory hold on again down the inside? This should be the ideal line for him, but round the outside is Johnny Brandon. Can he just get a little bit of an overlap? That's all he needs, but he can't. And for now, Ben Gregory holds on to that 4th place, but certainly seems that Paul Smith is safe up ahead.
Here comes Thompson though. This will be the final lap of the race. So, waiting for the checker flag to come out. Indeed it does. Round in the final corner, the CQR Fabrications car takes a very impressive win, up 34 spots. I say you, that is impressive. Simon Underhill with, I tell you what, an equally impressive drive. 3 great moves that we saw that lap. Paul Smith weathered the storm and gets himself a podium position as well. And then, I don't know with this rest of this pack, what's going on? They're all close. They're all coming across the line. It's all done. Oh, that's close as well. That was, ooh, don't know. Jake Blackall and his teammate, actually, Pete Harrod. Very close across the line. Some of the boosted cars are very close. McFadden having a little look. This is for 35th. McFadden had some problems earlier on. And Kiba. What's Kiba doing all the way down there? When did he get...
He went down in the opening stages, and once he kind of dropped out of the top 10, I kind of lost track of him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there was a couple of issues for him. But yeah, the pole sit was not the race that he wanted whatsoever. especially considering that a couple of the other drivers up there managed to kind of fend off for the entire 20 minutes on some very quick drives such as Brandon and Foggy.
Right, let me just retrieve the standings here. And Sam, it's over to you to take us through the final classifications.
Awesome, and it's Josh Thompson with an awesome drive, 35th to 1st. What an incredible performance. 8 seconds clear in the end of Simon Underhill in 2nd. Paul Smith starts 3rd, finishes 3rd. That's a really good job from him. Also Underhill, what a couple of moves he made. Seemed to be falling outside the top 5. Ends up in top 2. Ben Gregory in 4th. He started 24th, got an awesome start, and then just picked off the cars ahead of him, and also had very, very good pace. Johnny Brandon finishes in 5th. He made a surge late on. Nicole Foggy will be frustrated with 6th. Certainly a top 2 was very possible, but a couple of misplaced passes let him down. Mark Woodhouse ends up in 7th. Then it's Simon Field, Richard Birmingham, and Miguel Freitas in the top 10. Dion Phillips went up from 44th to 11th. Great drive from him. So too Anwar Smith, who must have had a bit of an issue near the end there. 32nd to 12th. Bart Delman in 13th. And then David Baker, David White, Andy Shield, Michael Evdocker, Adam Broughton Grant, Nicolo Cuomo, and Jake Blackhall in 20th position. Pete Harrod, Richard Kafenku, Steve Burke, Michael Blake, Lee Woodburn, Michael Hall, Adam Hedgecock, Stephen Baxter, Chaz Draycott, and Tom Jacobs in 30th position. He was running high up early on, but must have had an issue or something. Falls down to 30th position. Ben Hackerston in 31st, and it's Robert Lundgren, Ronald Moons, Matt Keever, Stuart McFadden, Mattia Bouligny, Luke Clark, Carl Hardy, Matt Bunn, John Roberts in 40th, Kieran Roche, Jack Stiles in 42nd, Josh Rayfield in 43rd, Gavin Wakefield, Lee Deemer, Stephen Dawson, Ash Sutton, and Craig Evans finishes in 48th position.
Yeah, well done making your way through that one. I'm just having a quick look at the pro sort of top 18 as well, as they are, and then the AM drivers as well. Of course, the new to the season is the fact that we're getting AM sort of championship separate. So yeah, needs to pay attention. So Woodhouse still held on to 2nd place, but Underhill as an AM driver did a great job really out there winning the race. Right, we need a reverse grid, I believe. So head on over to that and we'll give it to the final spin of the day. Not quite as large. I don't think it's going to tick over to 16th. No, it's not. So it stays on 24th, which I work out as Michael Blake, the main man at Simmortal.
Yeah, started 41st last time. It'll be a bit of a change for him on pole position with Steve Burke in 2nd place. He started 40th last time, so good karma for those guys.
Well, yeah, up 21 spots was Michael, so that was a good race, well done, and he got rewarded with a pole position.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome job.
How about some discount off of my McLaren?
It is rigged, people. Okay, don't believe in the randomness.
You don't mean to tell them that. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget, we are going to be back in just 20 minutes' time for the final race tonight. So tune back in. While you're there, while you're waiting, do us the favor, hit that like button on both our Facebook feeds and our YouTube ones. Like the page, help support the broadcast. We're obviously pushing a lot this time on the Facebook. The more people that are liking our page, we'll try and tag you in the highlights at the end of the night. Just for, for our key ones that we thought were pretty special. I know I'm going to certainly go and hunt out that Simon Underhill move around the outside. Fantastic one. And yeah, let's just try and get a bit more interactivity going on after the race meeting. But yeah, enjoy some iRacing adverts, and of course Chaz's season 4 World GT one as well that we didn't get at the very start. So see you in about 10 minutes.
yeah, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerick at the line.
5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, well, apparently we're coming back in. There we go. There's a nice little countdown for you. So Alex Simpson, Sam Fitzpatrick for the Racehub World GT Championship. Flip of the finger, and off the microphone mute button goes. But yep, it's a little bit sunnier for the final race of the evening. Sam, still 23 degrees, so it's just a little bit hotter than it was before, but clear skies, which make quite a difference to the track temperature. So where the guys had pretty much no drop off in their tyres over that last one, and a lot of grip. Completely the opposite way around this time. I expect even in this 20-minute race just to have some drop off, and also just understeer through like the high speed S's is just going to be like on another level because of what they've just had with cooler condition.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, with the most recent iRacing update, I think the track should warm up a tad as well. And yeah, I've just seen the track temperature go to question mark. So it will be getting hotter and hotter with the amount of cars out there. Yeah, that will be a factor, I imagine. But yeah, should be an awesome race, this one. Of course, another reverse grid, and yeah, 26 cars, I think it was the reverse. So yeah, should be a good one.
Yeah, that put Michael Blake on pole position. Steve Burke was in second, Richard Gafencu third, Pete Harrod fourth, Jake Blackhall is fifth, Nicola is sixth, then it's Adam Broughton Grant, Michael Evdoka, Andy Schill ninth, David is in 10th, then it's Dave Baker in 11th, Bart Daleman was 12th. Guys are starting to grid up, so I will get a wriggle on. Anwar Smith 13th, Dion Phillips 14th, then it's Miguel Freitas, Rich Warm, Mingham, Simon Field, Mark Woodhouse, Nicole Foggy. Rounding out your top 20 is Johnny Brandon. The rest of your grid is coming up on your screen now. What's Michael got to do in this one? We saw pole sitter last race, Sam. He just dropped and dropped and dropped. What's Michael got to do to hold on to this?
Well, yesterday we saw him in the BSR Grand Tour, and he was very competitive. And actually, in race 2, he gained something like 20 positions. I do see Richard Gafencu, though, who also yesterday was absolutely superb. Wiped the floor with the rest of the field, including drivers like Anwar Smith. So he could well be the favourite out there. I'm just looking for more drivers.
And I just want to point out Andy Schill in the pits, so problem for Schill. I don't know why he's in there, but yeah, starting from pit lane in this one. Sorry, back to you.
But yeah, that's going to help everyone on the odd side of the grid, I guess. And maybe Anwar Smith could threaten, but this is a great chance for Richard Gafencu and Michael Blake, I think, to run away with this one, because really, the next fastest guy is kind of outside the top 20. So, yeah, great opportunity.
Great shot as they are coming into the final corner. There goes the pace car. Tuck around. Straight away, he's gone already, hasn't he? So very, very early for Michael Blake. And I think that's a good call, because it kind of really bunched the pack up together. The last start. Lights go out. We are racing here. Burke under a little bit of pressure, and they're 3 wide behind Pete Harrod. There's Richard Gafencu as well. Well, I have to say Richard's got a very, very good opportunity from here. The thrust vector car of Steve Burke just about manages to hold off the 2 CQR club cars behind Pete Harrod and Blackhall. What's going on a bit further back, Sam? Anything you've seen? The front runners all look like they're through safely. I can see somebody still. There's a couple of cars, obviously, that are right at the back. So one of them, Andy Schill, which we know about. I'm not sure who's the other. Blackhall and Harrod exchanging positions, but. Nicola is there as well.
Yeah, he'll be looking to pass some of these guys. side by side. Michael Docker, who's already up 2 positions, and he's just lost out to Steve Burke, I think, unless he can fight back now. Cuomo just on the inside there, and he can't make the move on Harrod. But great stuff for Blackhall up a couple of positions, and already Blake and Gafenku way out in the lead, 2.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack.
Yeah, the minute he started battling, just opened it up. It's just the way it works around here, with every corner almost leading into the next about the opposite direction. You know, you can have some pretty big battles, but it slows them down so much. So yeah, these front two, this is exactly what they want. This is what Blake wants, really. Is, you know, get some advantage over these guys, and maybe he's gonna have to. Richard was so strong in race 1. I feel like the inevitable thing is for him to go through, but maybe Blake can try and just hold on to him up the inside, then into turn 1. And Blake does give him room, doesn't fight it too aggressively. And yeah, I think it's very important now for Michael just to try and stay underneath the wing of that sort of Mercedes. I was going to say sister Mercedes, not really, is it? But yeah, manufactured Mercedes partner, whatever. Just shush, Alex. But, the 2 Mercedes work together. Keep away from the BMWs. There we go. Although Blackhall looking strong through the S's, visually closed in on the 2 of them.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Blackhall was, yeah, super quick, already pulled away from the pack just behind. Guomo still looking competitive. It was just side by side, I think, between Burke and Broughton Grant. Broughton Grant on the outside there. Burke on the inside. Burke has already lost a couple of positions, in fact 5 positions already. This is pretty chaotic down here. Oh, big slap. Wow. That was a punch in the face and some.
That's Thompson.
Oh wow, race 2 winner. And it's not going to be a race 3 win for Josh Thompson. Is he going to be able to continue? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of damage to that car, because that was a, yeah, like I said, a big punch in the face.
So if we can get a better shot exactly what happened. Kind of tight going in. I think it's the BMW on the right, just coming back onto the circuit, and nothing Josh could do there. Not his fault at all. Just absolutely spanked into that side armco there.
So Cuomo still behind Harrod then. Abdoka's up into 6th, and while Smith has just gone up to 8th, Freitas in 9th. Yeah, and out at front actually, it's still very close. Jake Blackhall, I'm a bit surprised at it. He really does seem to have the pace potentially to win this race, I think.
Yeah, looking strong. Jake is a very strong driver actually, and you know, it takes him a little while to sort of wake up, I think, more than anything, because it's ridiculous early in the morning for him, of course, over in Australia. So I think once he's bright-eyed and bushy tailed, then he finds an extra half a second. That's the thing. But yeah, where is he? You're right. He's right on them now. Blake hasn't dropped back too far though from Richard. Still about a second back. So he needs to try and do his best. Of course, this circuit does sort of help somewhat with the massive slipstream you can get on the couple of straights. Oh, just misses the apex a little bit. I feel like he's going to be under a little bit of pressure here. Let's jump on board and see exactly how strong this BMW is. He is closing in down the straight now. It really does surprise me. Having a look, going to be good on the brakes. We know how good the BMW is on the brakes. I mean, it's just, oh, don't lose it. It's just in another planet at the minute, the braking of the BMW. You have to take its advantages where you can. And Richard doing exactly, Jake doing exactly that.
Yeah, seems to have a lot of confidence in that car, rotating really well. Because I was a bit concerned as well, because I thought he was spinning it, but if anything, he was in complete control. That car just rotating so well, and the front end just, yeah, like an arrow. And he's going to be an arrow trying to catch up to Richard Gafenku now. Not too long to catch.
Just what is going on here? You know, it's just a manicness in the middle of the field. Simon Field no pun intended, there in the boosted car. Warmingham, Baxter there as well. You've got Smith ahead, who had a good run last time. Freitas, then Brandon. This battle really goes all the way up to Nicole Foggy, actually, who's just got past David White. And difference, a little bit of battle going on back there. That's Johnny Brandon, isn't it, and David White that were going for it in turn 1.
Yep, up 9 now for Johnny Brandon, up into 11th position. Had a pretty good race too as well. I think he got 5th in race 2, so could be a good day for him. David White just pulling down the field a little bit. Sorry, Richard Kapenka just fell down my timing screen a little bit. I think he's okay out there.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Yep. So,
although he is being caught up. The last lap, it was a 2:02.50 for Blackall. Of course, you can see the lap times flashing up on the timing tower as they cross the line. It was a 2:02.9 for Gafenku, so good 0.4 of a second in it. And again, this lap so far is a 1/10 of a second quicker in sector 1 for Blackall. In sector 2, it was half a tenth slower, and then a 1/10 of a second quicker again in sector 3. And we're about to see what they're going to do for the fourth and final one. But visually, I can see that gap has come down. There's a battle going on as well.
Foggy's round. Yeah, or Foggy's got involved at least. That was Anwar Smith, was it, who went round? Yeah. So Foggy's really been in the wars for the kind of last 10 minutes of the second race, and again here.
Let's see if we can see that. Just to finish up our point, the drivers haven't crossed the finish line yet. It was a 2:03.16 and a 2:02.8 for the leaders. So yeah, while we're watching this replay, I was just the smallest of nicks, wasn't it? But it was enough to send Smith around. He'll be a bit peeved at that one, that's for sure. Gets the car recovered, but does lose an absolute boatload of places to Smith.
Yeah, Foggy can't put his nose there in a gap that was always going to close, and of course the outside driver would have had no idea that it was 3 wide, so difficult one there. And yeah, I think Anwar Smith will be a bit disappointed with that. Still holding on well is Pete Harrod and Nicolo Cuomo. Michael Evdock has caught up to these two now, and could be a decent result for all these drivers, but they are quite a bit off the leaders. Still that gap, still that pass from Burke all the way down to P20, I think, Fulini. I think, yeah, all those drivers are just in a massive chain.
Yeah, welcome to the series. They've had some issues today, but also done some great drives as well. Moved up a lot of spaces as Stuart Mafada takes a look on Mattia there. Oh, just everywhere I looked, there's just battles. It's like, where do I focus?
Nearly contact there. That was nice from Delman. I think he may have picked up an off track there, but he will not give one. And he's through down the inside, and just behind that's Brandon trying to make his way up after a little bit of contact earlier on. And just behind him is Foggy. So those two are teammates, I believe. Yeah, I'm almost certain that those two are teammates because they won a race together in the Euro V8 a couple of days ago. And yeah, so they'll be working together. But yeah, right now they're just got to make sure that they try to get past Steve Burke as quickly as possible. And a bit of contact, I think there was.
Yeah, Burke in the thrust vector car, looking like he's got a pretty reasonable exit there, but he's going to have to still go a little bit defensive. Brandon, late on the brakes, going to try and hold it round the outside. It's such a wide corner up here. You can do it. He's got the overlap, and of course, Burke couldn't force him out wide and through for Johnny Brandon. Good move.
Yeah, that was textbook, wasn't it? It was just exactly how you meant to do that. Ooh. Very kind from Steve Burke, who's a little bit off line now, which has kind of put Nicole Foggy a little bit offline as well. But yeah, they managed to recover that one pretty well. Right on the tail now. Can Foggy get past Burke? He just needs to set this one up, maybe for turn 9. Certainly will have the opportunity to be. Goes to the outside again. He's very reluctant, is Foggy, to really commit to the inside in that corner. And then he tries to get the cut back, and there's just a car on the inside, and he gets checked up and just drops him back to the cars behind. So struggling a little bit with the race cut up there. And so too is Ben Hackerston, because he's put himself into a bit of a spin.
See what happened there for Hackerson. Of course, driving the only McLaren out there. Was, of course, a couple of seasons ago. So dominant. Everyone was running it. And, it just gets a little nerf from behind. And, yep, unfortunately, nothing Ben can do. Still having a little battle, though, out there. Now with Ben Gregory. 2 Bens on track.
Oh, look at the gap. Look at the gaggle ahead. Smith, I think I see in there. McFadden as well in the Ferrari. Oh, it could be side by side between the 2 Ferraris here. Very slow on the inside. That must be a slowdown. And he's going to lose about 3 positions. Not even sure who that was, but was it Dave Baker? I think it was. Yeah. And now get down the inside. I think there might be a spinner just ahead as well.
Still serving it as well. Paul Smith around. He's got a lot of damage. Let's see what happened to Smith there. Did he get a tap? No, just lost it going in. Just lost the back end. And it just bit back, didn't it? Where he was trying to recover it, just snapped back on him. Just took the bonnet off. Be okay. Not blowing the engine. That's what matters. Right, what's going on at the front here? Because it's still relatively close. Gafenko hasn't been able to escape, but Blackwell not really closed in the last lap. There was, well, again, half a second difference between them. And really strong Sector 3 once again for Blackwell.
I'm just watching the gap between these two down the straight, and just down that back straight, I think Blackwell managed to gain about a 1/10. So really does show either he's really trimmed out that BMW, or yeah, he's really not struggling for straight line speed whatsoever. Joe, he needs some straight line speed is Michael Abdoka, and he is looking to the inside, very nearly contact between the 2 cars there. Abdoka moves up into 5th ahead of Kuomo. Next up, Pete Howard, who's occupied that P4 for the entire race, but he might be about to lose it. Nice little gap actually behind these guys. 8.5 seconds back to Johnny Brandon, and then that massive pack just behind that of about 10 cars.
As we're looking back under the wing of Harrod's BMW. Nice little shot, actually. Oh, just a little bit wide. Yeah, massive. Richard was 7/10 faster that lap as well, so he pulled away huge chunks. It's over a second now, so maybe just starting to turn it up a little bit. These guys don't seem to get a breakaway. Foggy on the tail of Bart Baleman, trying to move forward. I think was pretty much secured as being top driver of the night, with Thompson going out in the early stages of this race. Oh, there's another interesting battle going on way down in 26th place, but it needs some love. And someone's gone around on the inside. I don't know who that was.
McFadden, I think, maybe. Not quite sure. Oh no, it's Johnny Brandon.
Who was that? That was our co-commentator, Jazz Draycott, absolutely smashing the yellow sausage curb. And the Audi, of course, is probably one of the lowest of the GT3s out there. And yeah, it just said to Chaz, don't do that again, please.
Yeah, it is a pain, those curbs. One of the reasons why this many people feel interested about this track, and Brandon is now in the wall. I thought he crashed a couple of minutes ago, but he is now very much crashed, and he's a bit of a hazard to the other drivers. Big plumes of smoke for him. and I'd like to see what happened there because heading down at 180 miles an hour into that hairpin, and he's yeah, crashed before he's even made it.
I think. Oh, is that just pure stubbornness, aggression versus pure stubbornness, defense there? You know, it was like Brandon was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna let you back on," which he has absolutely every right to do, of course. I need to point that out. But was it Daleman? It was Daleman, wasn't it? Yeah, Bart was very much like, well, I'm already over the line. You know, I need some room to come back on. And yeah, unfortunately, it ended with. That's the thing sometimes. Where'd you draw the line? You're like, well, no, I'm not letting you back on. But if the driver does come on, you're always going to end up worse when your quarter panel is exposed. You know.
Yeah, I think it's one of them where maybe third parties shouldn't get involved. But basically, when something like that happens, you can't feel sorry for yourself because you had the option to go for the safe move. And in the end, they chose not to, and it's not worked out for Johnny Brandon whatsoever. Down into P40, will not be scoring many points in this race whatsoever, if at all. Pete Howard's really under pressure, actually, from Michael Avdoka. So Avdoka, he hasn't had a brilliant day, I think, today. Could still get a P4 in this one. And he looks to the inside of Pete Howard. Howard, I'm sure, will try to fight this one back, and he tries to squeeze him on the apex. Now, can he just get the ever so smallest overlap? He can't, and that gives the opportunity for Avdoka to move ahead. So important through this section of the track just to get ever so slightly alongside, but Pete Howard just fell a little bit behind. And well, Avdoka's behind Blake now. I doubt he's going to be able to catch that one in one. No, he's got one more lap to do it, so he's not going to catch that one, but it would still be a very good drive from 8th on the good one.
Yeah, I don't think it's over with, to be honest. I think Pete will not want to give this up, although it just gets a little bit out of shape. There's a few beamers that we've seen just lost it around that corner tonight. I mean, Thompson was one, massive moment, but I think that was with the Astro that he just nicked on the way in. Paul Smith as well, and Peter Harrod. So there's been a few others that have been out of shape around there as well. So yeah, just one of the corners the BMW seem to be struggling on. Oh, wide for Michael. Almost sort of trying to invite Pete Harrod back into this battle.
Yeah, and this is where the BMW should be strong, this part of the circuit, and then also maybe the final sector as well. And yeah, you've already said he's quite inviting the pressure. Cuomo just watching this one behind, hoping that it turns into a bit of a soap opera, and currently just Avdoka ever so slightly pulling away, and that might make him safe down the upcoming back straight.
30 seconds left of race time here then. This will be absolutely the final lap of the race. Where is our leader at the moment? Well, he's got himself a 2-second margin over Jake Blackall going into hairpin at the back straight. So we will jump back to that battle that we were watching just a second ago. Is Harrod going to get the run? Gulak can't quite get onto the tail of these guys, so going to be between Harrod and Michael if there's going to be any change. Good line for Pete. Again, can't quite get the overlap there. A little bit out of shape going into the right-hander. Oh, these guys going down the straight is going to be manic too. Oh, look at that! Oh my word!
Oh wow!
Is that's Hackerson around trying to go around the outside?
Oh, winner!
Claret.
Oh, these guys aren't winners though. Big park round.
Here he comes though, Richard Kafenku. Great race from him. It had a little bit of pressure from Jake Blackhall in this race, but weathered that storm fantastically. Good run from Jake. And Michael Blake in third. Great job from him. And very, very happy. Michael Avdoka in fourth too. And weaving around. Pete Harrod was happy. Nice to see. What's going on here? Simon Field and Mattia on the final corner. Who is going to get this drag race to the line? field. Just, I think.
Yep. By about half a tenth of a second, 4/100ths across the line.
Everyone just coming across. Just a little bit of separation right at the very back. Mark Woodhouse down 14. What happened to Mark? His lap time last lap 2:18, so I don't know if he had some issue with lap to go. Well, Sam, he had a really good meeting last night in the BSR Grand Tour, and he's had another good meeting here today. I mean, not the race 2 he would have exactly wanted where he was, but the reverse grid worked in his favour. Of course, he scored points in all 3, so podium in the first one, a win in the final one, and some strong points in the second one. I don't think it'll be enough to take the overall win of the night for Richard, but nonetheless, it'll still be a strong points haul. And yeah, I still think Foggy's going to get it, so good meeting for him. But perhaps potential second, I would think, for the night for Richard.
Yeah, very potentially. Of course, hopefully he'll be doing the entire season, and plenty of very quick drives, as we expect from this series, I'm sure. And yeah, plenty of quick drivers, and this should be an awesome championship battle, because there's really no one, dominant, and with the format of the races, you can, have a terrible race 2 and race 3, and all of a sudden your championship hopes are kind of in jeopardy. So yeah, really good drive from Richard Kopenko in that final race, and yeah, should be very entertaining going into the next few rounds.
Indeed it will. Would you like to do the honours and take us through the results, Richard? Coming up on screen now.
Yes, of course. Richard Kopenko takes the race victory. Jake Blackhall put a lot of pressure on him. Only 1.2 seconds across the line, but ends up in second. Michael Blake, good drive from him from pole position to third. Michael Abdoka, fourth. It's Pete Howard, fifth. Nicolo Cuomo in sixth. Nicole Foggy finishes in seventh. Don't know how that was possible. He was involved in quite a few incidents. Bart Daleman in eighth. Miguel Freitas in ninth. Richard Warming, I don't think we actually talked about him. I think he only yeah, we didn't talk about Richard too much whatsoever. So sorry, Richard, but he actually did really well to finish in 10th place from 16th on the grid. Simon Field in 11th. Matteo Fulini in 12th. That's Ben Gregory, Stephen Baxter, Ben Hackerston, Anwar Smith, Dion Phillips, Steve Burke, Michael Hall, Paul Smith in 20th position, Adam Hedgecock, David White, Chaz Jaycott, Jack Stars in 24th, Simon Underhill in 25th, Luke Clark, Ronald Moons, Matt Keeber, Adam Broughton Grant, Lee Demon in 30th, Lee Woodburn, Mark Woodhouse, David Baker, John Roberts, Matt Bunn, Robert Lundgren, Tom Jacobs, Carl Hardy, Johnny Brandon, he had a crash in 39th, Stuart McFadden, he had an unlucky race 2 and race 3, ends up in 40th, Josh Rayfield in 41st, Kieran Roche 42nd, Josh Thompson finishes in 43rd after a bit of a punch into his car, sent him into a wall, and Andy Shield finishes in 44th position in this race 3 of the evening.
Right, we've got a couple of drivers waiting for a little interview. Let's bring in Josh Thompson first. Josh, can you hear us, mate?
Hello.
Now, I'm trying to find you on my live timing screen, but of course you're so far down, I've got to scroll all the way to the bottom. Not the race 3 you wanted at all.
Nah, really gutted, to be honest, because I had the pace all day, I think. Even though it was more of a Mercedes power track, in my opinion, from especially when I was behind Nico in race 1, the Mercedes seemed to have definitely a pace advantage. So in both races, having to wring my neck out the BMW to be high up. And then race 3, knowing that I could beat all the guys around me, just get taken out by something as silly as that. It's unfortunate, really.
It was a bit unfortunate, of course. They were battling ahead, and you come through, and the car came back on the circuit. Yeah, you were just there, so it's just one of those annoying racing incident things, isn't it? Unfortunately, so it was. What was odd is just how the car reacted after you got hit. I mean, it absolutely flew you into the. Rather than I expected just a bit of like a little bang and be like, what the, but actually sent you flying, which was a shame because it just ended your race right there. But let's forget that one. Race 2, what was it, 35 spots that you gained?
Yeah, it's 35.
Not too bad to get your first victory in the series. I mean, all this time you've been up there, you've been at the front, you've had opportunities to win. Yeah, and you wait till you have to overtake 35 cars to do it.
Yeah, I was actually it's worrying that it's taken it just like this long, to be honest. I didn't expect it to take 2 full seasons of this now. I've gone back to BMW, which I slated at the end of the 13. I used it and got my first win in it, so can't have been too bad of a car. But now the racing was really chaotic. So the first lap, 2 laps, I was playing it really safe. Like I was actually driving off the track fully, turn 1, just to avoid incidents. At one point, I was fully off the track, turn, and there were still cars on coming off the track. So yeah, I think at the end of the reason I knew I could have the win in the bag was the fact I came across end of lap 1 in 15th. I was like, this is on now, and knowing that a lot of the fast people were involved in the incident, turn 1 was a bit of an easy shootout. And really, all I had to deal with was nickel, but managed to get past and get a gap. Yeah,
made all the difference. Well done, mate. Good race. I look forward to see how you do next week. Got a couple more people to talk to. So, any quick fire sponsorship shout outs or anything like that you want to do?
Yeah. So you guys first for broadcasting, great job as always. Hopefully looking even better in the stream. Admins, Will GT, and also CQR for letting me join up with them boys this season after Radical's departure.
Oh, so that's official. You actually have gone out of the team, have you? I just thought it was for this series.
No, just this series.
I was about to say, what the hell?
And maybe as well for AOR as well.
Oh, okay.
And maybe iGPS, but not sure yet. It all depends. It's a bit complicated at the moment.
Sounds like a nightmare, mate.
Yeah.
Right. On that note, I'll let you go, and we'll drag someone else up. We'll check you out next week, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Right, who shall we bring in? Well, let's bring in Michael Bleak. Hi, Michael.
Hey guys, how you doing?
So, refund or money off for the next one then, yeah?
I'm sure we can sort something out.
Don't want to say that. That's live, I've got witnesses.
It's not for the grid. It's for the so when you see your car, I took a little tiny audit and a tiny piece of car.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. Right. So let's talk about that final race. So, got a good start from the lead. Obviously, didn't fight Richard. We're just seeing the overtake right now. Actually, he got a good run going into turn 1, and you were kind of able to hold on to him for a couple of laps. Jake come up behind you. You guys had a good little battle. And then you just had really strong pace and was able to hold on to that podium. So, good final race.
Yeah, I was all right pace-wise for most of the race. I had a couple of laps just after Jake got past where I tried to sort of up my speed and keep with them. And I started making a couple of little mistakes and I dropped back quite a lot of time. So then it was just a case of get back in the rhythm and just monitor the gap to the guys behind. I didn't want to fight Richard or Jake too much because I knew if we got back in side by side, that next pack was just going to be swarming over us. I'm pleased with the result. It makes up for a pretty poor race 1 and 2.
I was going to ask what happened in race 1 and 2 really, because obviously you were a reasonable way back in race 2 to be able to get the reverse grid, but you had to make up quite a few places to even get yourself there. Anyway, I remember seeing it 20 odd places that you gained race 2. So I'm guessing race 1 was that a DNF or something like that? What happened?
Yeah, there was a car spun in turn 1. I saw where it was as I turned in, and then sort of lost it in my vision for a couple of seconds, and sort of picked to go to the right hand side. And as I got there, he was driving back towards me, trying to get out of it. I sort of hit him head on and flipped over.
Nightmare. Oh well. It's just the way. I mean. You're not going to be the only person that's going to have random road DNFs in this championship, that's for sure. Just the nature of those reverse grid sprint races is always going to happen. So, yeah, two good drives, I would say, to get yourself back in there and then a podium to boot as a bit of a recovery. Good job. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you head off?
Matt and the guys for putting on the league. It's awesome. You guys are doing a great job on the broadcasts, and my teammates and Drive Doctors and Go Kart World sponsoring Simmortal this year.
Awesome stuff. Thanks very much, mate. We'll catch you for the next race.
Cheers, guys. See you soon.
And last but not least, as he's been waiting patiently, got Chaz Draycott.
Evening, boys. How are we?
Well, we're all right. We're all right. How was that for you in the Audi? I saw you were trying to send it into orbit by launching it over the sausage curbs at one point.
Yeah, that was tough. Really tough tonight. Never really been a fan of Kota personally, and I can't drive it to save my life. Coming here with a new car and no sort of setup, didn't sort of determined for it was a really, really big challenge tonight, and I think we all felt it. We were all doing all right at points, but it was just so hard to stay consistent. We really struggled in the end, unfortunately.
I mean, the Audi, where are you expecting its strengths to be? You know, is there a reason why you picked that car? Because not a lot of people have gone for it this season.
Well, with the Ferrari we were running last season, it felt like it, no matter what you did to it, it understeered everywhere, and it just really struggled to get the front end in, and it just gave you no feel of confidence when you were putting the nose into corners. And we felt that having a car that sort of understeered too much was, I don't know, it was just so much of a, like I say, just a lack of confidence in it. And when you go to something like the Audi that's quite naturally quite an oversteery car, you can sort of control that better than not even having the turn in at all. So we just felt that getting something a bit more oversteery, we can at least try and control it and just make the most of what we've got with it, I suppose. And just gives you that confidence, like I say, if you turn the nose in and you know it's going to go into a corner, then it just makes you feel a bit better in terms of your pace, I think.
And of course, it's not like it's an endurance event, is it? Where we've got, like, you know, a 4-hour race where you're really going to notice the difference. You know, we're talking 3 20-minute races. So I suppose the differences, you know, a lot of people go, oh, yeah, no, this car's OP, that car's OP and whatnot. But there's never, like, you know, they're never like 1 second a lap slower, are they? There's only a couple of tenths in them at most. So I don't suppose it makes a great deal of difference with the format that we have.
No, definitely not. I think people can be a bit more extreme with setups as well, because they don't have to worry about tyres as much. So I think that's where it sort of combats the difference, is because you don't have to worry about them at all. I mean, they do obviously tend to go off towards the end of a 20-minute race, but it's nowhere near the extent of, like you say, if we were doing like a 4-hour endurance and you want to make it last. So it's quite, I know it's quite an eye-opener sometimes when you see people in the same car as you. I mean, like Dion Phillips tonight, we've got to give a shout-out to, who's, even though he had a few incidents, he was absolutely flying every time he came past me. And I just thought, how is he making that Audi go so much quicker than mine? And it's just, like I say, people could be more extreme with the setups, and it's just nice to have that sort of variation, I think. I think that's the magic of GT3 racing and the magic of this series.
Yeah, well said indeed. So next week, I'm not entirely sure where we're going, because I haven't looked. I wonder if you do.
I think it might be Sebring. Not Sebring. What's it called? The other one, Watkins.
Watkins. Oh, well, that'll be interesting.
I don't know. It's 4 American tracks. I know Belle Isle's the 4th one, so I'm looking forward to all of them, to be fair.
Yeah. So how do you think you're going to fare next week then?
If it is Watkins, I don't even know. Watkins is one of my favourite tracks to drive, and I've always sort of felt quite good in a car there. There's a lot of corners that, like I said a minute ago, with like the confidence of the turn in is very important there. So I think we'll feel good in the Audi, and hopefully just keep it on the track this time and not make so many mistakes.
No more trying to jump on those sausage curbs.
Oh, they scare the life out of you.
Over to you to give a shout out to the sponsors and the team and whatnot, and yeah, we'll wrap up the show.
Yeah, well, thanks as always to the boys from Thrust Vector, the boys from FitSty as well. They always help us out, especially some of the lads from FC1 Motorsports. We're all on their Discord together, so we've got a nice happy family going on. Steve Burke, always helping us out with setups from Team Lizard Motorsport as well, his real life racing team. You can go and check them out on Facebook. Other than that, we've not actually got any proper sponsors, so it's just to Tom and Steve, my teammates, for always doing the best that they can.
Awesome stuff. Right, mate. Well, thanks very much.
Yeah,
enjoy your evening, and you'll catch you. Well, I'll catch you tomorrow.
Yes, shall do indeed. Nice one.
Right, Chaz Draycott there for Thrust Vector. Yeah, talk about upcoming events, of course. Sam, no Rick Mitek tonight, so I have a early night. Yeah, I'll take that. But on Tuesday we have got the BSR MX5 series. It's the summer part of their year-long championship. So that should be a lot of fun. And I am just kind of filling while I wait for my window to load. Come on and give me my upcoming events, because I can't remember exactly where we're going. But right, upcoming. Here we go. So yes, that's at Indy on the bike layout. So don't know if anyone's ever seen that. So that's a bit different. I tell you what, we've watched some really good BSRTC races around that layout. It's not actually that bad. And then on the Wednesday night, of course, we've got the iRacing Le Mans series. That's from Road Atlanta. I'm about to get my practice on for that. And then on Thursday night, we are heading to Le Mans for the BSR Touring Car Pro Series. Well, that should be fun. It's a circuit that I've actually driven, the Kia, so I might actually know what I'm doing around there. Probably not. And then on the Sunday, we've got a little break until Sunday. We are back with the iRacing Grand Prix series, and that is at Interlagos. Rounding out our week, we are in the comms box together again for the BSR Grand Tour, which is at Watkins Glen, which will pretty much confirm that it is Watkins Glen for next week for the World GT Championship, which it is as I look at the upcoming events. So yeah, it's a good week's worth of broadcasting for us here, Sam.
Yeah, it should be awesome. I'm certainly looking forward to Wednesday, the Le Mans series. Had a great kind of tune in. I think at one point we had like 100 people watching last week, which was awesome. And yeah, of course I'll be covering that a bit. So yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to that one. And yeah, of course, also Sunday, the like you said, the BSR IMSA and the iRacing Grand Prix series. That was great fun yesterday. So yeah, certainly check out that. And yeah, it should be a very fun week for us.
Right, well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Those that are still watching as well, there's some of you on Facebook, there's some of you on YouTube right now. Do us a favor, support the channel, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, do all that good thing, like our page. Especially if you're a driver in the series, we'd like to be able to tag you in some of the highlights on Facebook as we'll go through them over the course of the next couple of days. And yeah, it'd be good to get some conversation going on there, but I don't think we can actually tag you without you have liking the page first. So if you could do that, that would be great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week at Watkins Glen. It's going to be good. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We will catch you in a week's time here, back for the Racehub World GT Series. It's at Watkins Glen. We stay in America. That's going to be a fantastic race. And, yeah, we're gonna bring you all the action. Have a good week. See you then.